LexisNexis, the secret credit reporting agency that is hurting your business. Look, LexisNexis might not be a credit bureau you even know anything about, but here's the deal. This is the main credit reporting agency that lenders are using to make all types of decisions about you, and you will be blown away and shocked at the information that LexisNexis has about you that they are openly sharing to anybody that wants it, including lenders, credit issuers, insurance providers, public officials, including the police, and so much more. So who is LexisNexis? What's on these reports? What can you do about it? We got a lot to cover, so let's go. All right, so let's talk about LexisNexis. LexisNexis is the most important credit reporting agency that you have never heard of. As a matter of fact, I probably would gamble to say you've never even seen your LexisNexis credit report. So what's on this actual report? Well, let's just start with your entire life's history. Here's what I mean. Every house you've ever lived on, for example, is on this report. The building materials of the home, how many stories your home is, how many air conditioning units you have in the home. Actually, your HOA information is on this report. The title company you used to actually close on your home loan, the interest rate that you paid, the lenders you had that gave you your mortgage. Let's talk about cars. Every vehicle you've ever owned, the VIN number of those vehicles, every insurance policy and the detail of every insurance policy you've ever owned, every ticket you've ever got, every misdemeanor, felony, every time you've ever received even a speeding ticket is on this report as well. Every email address you've ever had in your entire lifetime, every address you've ever had in your lifetime. Look, my basic training address is on my LexisNexis credit report, and I only lived there for 6 weeks of my life. Every phone number you've ever had from birth up till current day is on that credit report. Every license you've ever had issued, every license you've ever had revoked, applications for credit and financing are on this report as well. All of your public records. That's right. Think about this. If you have a judgment, a bankruptcy on your credit report, those can only stay on your TransUnion, your Equifax, your Experian credit reports for 10 years. They're on there forever on your LexisNexis credit report. So here you are, you had a bankruptcy, you had a judgment, you think it's in the past, you think it's off your credit reports. Little do you know that 30 years later, the lenders are still able to see that information on your LexisNexis credit report. As a matter of fact, if you've ever tried to dispute a public record before, like a tax lien, a judgment, or a bankruptcy with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and had it actually verified where it stayed on your report, guess what? They're verifying it with LexisNexis. LexisNexis is where they're getting that public record data from. And when you dispute with the consumer reporting agencies, LexisNexis is who they actually process a dispute with. So if you've ever had one of these where it was verified and not be able to be removed, if you would have disputed it with LexisNexis first and had it removed there, you would have had no problem getting it removed from TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. So again, every public record through your lifetime is on this report as well. Even when you've actually had a marriage license issued, when you've gotten divorced, your kids, all of this information is on your LexisNexis credit report. Look, my own personal report is over 300 pages. And I admit, some of that may be speeding tickets. Don't tell anybody. But yours is probably equally as big. I mean, it is the size of a book. Your entire life's history is on it. Look, when I first saw my own personal LexisNexis report, I can only describe it as the most intrusive thing I've ever seen in my life. And here's the scary part. Not only is your entire life's history on this report, but anybody can get it at will. Lenders, credit issuers, public officials, they are the ones accessing this information all the time to learn all of these things about you, things that you didn't even know are out in this world. So how can this hurt you? I'll give you 3 personal examples from my life. We went to get an SBA loan, and the first thing the lender came back at was wanting to collateralize my personal home for the loan. Now that made no sense. The business had enough collateral to qualify on its own, but what I came to realize was that there was a judgment on my LexisNexis credit report that wasn't accurate that the lender saw that was so concerning that they made me collateralize my home to get the loan. Now I proved to them that the judgment was false, had it removed even from my LexisNexis report, and poof, they removed that collateral requirement. Now, for the exact same SBA loan, they asked me something like, have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor and felony? And I said no, because I'm a pretty straight shooter. Like, I don't do anything wrong, and when I do, I don't get caught. But Sure enough, they came back to me and said, you're wrong, you lied to us, you actually have 2 misdemeanors. I had to pull a personal background check on myself to even know what they were talking about. And sure enough, in my 20s, when I was in the military, I was doing wheelies on a motorcycle to impress a very attractive female police officer, which did not end well for me. But little did I know, decades later, this would come back and affect my ability to get the SBA loan. I had to explain what those misdemeanors were and provide a letter of explanation about why I'd lied to the lender, and I didn't even mean to lie. They were asking me questions I didn't even remember. That's how much detail is on these reports. I also went to get an insurance policy on a piece of jewelry and got denied because they saw something on my LexisNexis credit report that they didn't like. How many times have you gotten denied an insurance policy or received less than favorable terms? Little did I know that it came from information on my LexisNexis credit report. Now, when I pushed through to talk to the underwriter of why the denial took place, this is the tip that she gave me. She said, look, here's what's on the report, here's how to get the report, and here's how to dispute it. And sure enough, I took her steps, went back and applied and got approved. There's a lot of credit. There's a lot of financing. There's a lot of insurance. There's a lot of things right now you're applying for, merchant accounts, bank accounts, that you've run into resistance and problems for, probably paid way more than you should. And the reason for that is because they're getting information from this report that you don't even know about. So here's the next question. Where the heck are they getting this information from? Look, LexisNexis has its tentacles everywhere. It is pulling information from county databases, from state databases, from a lot of third-party data aggregators. Let me give you one example. There's a financial exchange called the Small Business Financial Exchange. It's a third-party data aggregator that basically is controlled and owned by big banks. So banks have an arrangement where basically anything you tell one bank, they openly share with all banks. So if you go apply for a Bank of America credit card, what you don't know is Bank of America is taking your information and sharing it with Wells Fargo, sharing it with Chase, sharing it with everybody in their network. Now, the Small Business Financial Exchange has vendors, and vendors are who take this information that these banks openly share and put it out in the world. LexisNexis is one of those vendors. So think about that, just one relationship. They're coming in, getting information from every bank, and now they have information for your lifetime that they are putting out in the world. Now again, that's just one example of them getting it from banks, not to include Secretary of State, the IRS, and everywhere else they're getting their data from. This is why your public records, your judgment, your entire life's history is on these reports, and it's the credit bureaus themselves, TransUnion, Equifax, Experian, even Dun & Bradstreet in the business world, Experian and Equifax in the business world, they're all getting their information from LexisNexis. Now that you understand the scope of the problem, let's talk about what to do with it. First of all, get a free copy of your LexisNexis credit report. You can just simply go to Google, type in free LexisNexis report, fill in a little bit of information online, and get a free copy of your LexisNexis report. Now, the next thing you want to do is comb through this and do it cautiously. Look, I'm going to give you fair warning. You are going to be blown away at how intrusive this report is. Don't freak out. I'm giving you fair warning. The goal here is to go through and highlight with yellow highlight what is on that report that's not favorable to you. The next thing you want to do is actually write a letter and dispute those items to LexisNexis. Now, the report will have a report number, it'll have their address, it'll have everything you need to write this dispute. Basically, go through, highlight everything that's not favorable, and go through and write a letter about what should be updated, changed, or removed, and why it's not accurate. Now, in that first iteration, you don't even need to supply proof to LexisNexis. If you have proof that things are inaccurate, supply the proof. If you don't have it or don't want to, don't. Just dispute what you believe to be inaccurate, especially the things that are hurting you. And then wait to hear back. Now, by law, they have 30 days to respond to that dispute, whether they verify it or whether they remove it or whether they update the report. And since so few people know about LexisNexis and so few people ever dispute, I have found that nearly 90% or higher of what you dispute gets removed altogether from the report. So a lot of people try to freeze these reports. It's not what you want to do. What we want to do is know information that lenders don't think that we know. Then use that information, legally and ethically to control that data in our favor to get us more approvals. And that's what this is. We're getting the report. We're identifying inaccuracies. We're disputing those inaccuracies. We're cleaning up that report to make it a work of art that you would want insurance companies and lenders and credit issuers to see. Then you can go out in the world and continue to apply, get a lot more approvals, get a lot more favorable terms, because what lenders don't know is you know about their secret. You've hacked their secret legally and ethically, and now they're seeing the data that they don't think you know they're seeing, but it's really the data you want them to see. That is exactly what you need to do about it to control your LexisNexis credit report. Look, don't leave this video and take no action. The report's 100% free. At least take the first step of getting your copy of LexisNexis, and once you see how damaging this report is, you'll automatically default to my step 2, which is actually disputing the information on the account. So there you go. Did you get value from this training? If so, make sure you like and subscribe and keep your eye out for our next training. We're talking about more cool ways to get the money you need to start and grow your business.